The United States President Donald Trump and Russian President met with each other in a historic summit in the Finnish capital of Helsinki. The two leaders have met each other along the lines of multilateral summits, but this was the first one-to-one summit between Trump and Putin. The meet came just days after the U.S. Justice Department indicted 12 Russian military intelligence agents for meddling into the 2016 U.S. elections. US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have departed Helsinki and following a summit that is likely to create a political storm in the United States. And according to the latest news, President Donald Trump has already reached the United States. President Trump has said in a news conference before his departure that he saw no reason to believe his own intelligence agencies rather than trust the Kremlin leader. President Trump's statement refers to the question of whether Russia interfered to help him win the 2016 election. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Moscow and Washington stick to their divided views on the annexation of Crimea from Ukraine in 2014. According to the Russian president, Trump's stance on illegal attachment of Crimea to Russian Federation remains unchanged. The summit was overshadowed by the US president blaming his own country's past foolishness and stupidity for the two powers' hostile relations. The United States President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump met with the President of Finland ahead of the summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in the President's official residence in the Finnish capital of Helsinki. Donald Trump met one-on-one with Vladimir Putin behind closed doors in a long-awaited summit in Helsinki. Both the presidents later held a joint press conference on the summit. US President Donald Trump has described his one-on-one meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin as a very good start for everybody. Trump made the brief remarks in front of the reporters at a press conference table surrounded by top officials at the start of a working lunch. The official lunch began after he and Putin met behind closed doors for the 2 hours with only their interpreters. LGBT rights activists projected a series of messages onto the wall of the venue of the Trump-Putin summit. The messages were projected by the United States-based LGBT rights group called the WION Rights Campaign. The group has said that they wanted to confront the two world leaders about the alleged abuse of LGBT people in the Russian federal region of Chechnya. Billboards and posters calling for press freedom were set up on the roads of Helsinki along the lines of the meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and United States President Donald Trump. The billboards, which had messages in Russian and English, were set up by a leading Finnish daily. As crowds gathered near the port where the meeting took place, a small group of demonstrators stood together with their own messages for Trump and Putin. Demonstrators wearing US President Donald Trump's mask, fake baby bellies and mouth gags took over Helsinki's Senate Square. The protest was against the US government's global gag rule, long known as Mexico City policy. The Trump administration had reinstated the global gag rule that bans US-funded groups around the world from discussing abortion and supports stripping federal funding from women's health care clinics that offer abortions. The United States lawmakers have criticized President Donald Trump for failing to issue a stern warning to Russian President Vladimir Putin about meddling in American elections. The lawmakers have said that Trump's message to Putin was weak and was a missed opportunity. The Capitol Hill's reaction was highly critical of Trump's performance in a joint news conference in Helsinki with Putin. The European Union has called on China and the United States not to escalate trade wars. The European Council President Donald Tusk has said that the two nations had a duty not to start trade wars. EU Council President has also urged the world's two largest economies to help reform the World Trade Organization. Chinese President Xi Jinping met with Director General of UNESCO Audrey Azoulay in Beijing. She welcomed Azoulay's first visit in China as the UNESCO Director General at the Dayutai State Guest House. China has proposed the Belt and Road Initiative with an aim to promote common development and people-to-people exchanges, and UNESCO has accepted to help make contribution to the same. Mexican President-elect Andrés Manuel López Obrador has said that he plans to earn less than half of what his predecessors earned when he takes office. López Obrador won the Mexican presidency by a landslide and is scheduled to take office on December 1st. López has said that he would earn $108,000 pesos or $5,700 per month. That is 40% of what current President Enrique Peña Nieto receives, which is 270,000 pesos or $14,270 per month. The former president of Peru's Superior Court has been arrested in Callao. The arrest has been made after the revelation of audio recordings allegedly implicating him and other officials with illegal negotiations with members of the South American country's judicial branch. The recordings demonstrate far-reaching network of influence being used by judges and leading businessmen. Rios is thought to be among the heads of the network. The Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra has fired his Justice Minister Salvador Herresi after the revelation of a peddling scandal. The local media has released an audio of a secretly recorded phone conversation between the minister and a judge under investigation for influence peddling. President Vizcarra has asked Justice Minister Herresi to resign hours after local TV station released the audio of the conversation. The Kensington Palace has released official photos of Prince Louis's christening. The photos include a picture of the extended royal family. Prince Louis, who is the third child of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince William and Kate Middleton, is fifth in line to the throne. Queen Elizabeth, who could not attend Prince Louis's christening, was missing from the photos. More than 400 migrants who have been blocked on two ships off the coast of Italy were allowed to disembark at the Italian island of Sicily. The migrants were only allowed to disembark in Italy after Germany, France and Malta pledged to host a total 150 migrants from the two ships. The violent protests in Nicaragua has claimed the lives of another 10 people. Human rights groups have said that Nicaraguan police and paramilitary groups loyal to President Daniel Ortega were behind the killings. Violent protests have erupted in the Central American country calling for the ouster of President Ortega. Ethiopia held a music concert to welcome Eritrean President just a day after the two neighboring countries signed a historic agreement to end 2 decades of conflict. The Eritrean leader is on a 3-day visit to Ethiopia. The Israeli resort of Eilat hopes that a new airport will attract 1 million foreign visitors a year by 2025. The old airport in the city centre can take only 8 flights an hour and has no wide-body aircraft. That capacity is already filled by 1.4 million plus Israelis who fly to Eilat each year. The international tourist arrivals in Israel had hit a record 3.6 million last year, pumping $5.5 billion into the economy. The And Japan is facing a major task of reconstructing areas damaged due to the torrential rains, which has left nearly 10,000 households across 3 districts of the island nation completely shattered. While some of the damaged houses have been renovated, others were left damaged beyond repair. Rains have wreaked havoc across the Beijing district in China, causing flooding and damaging power supplies and roads. 5 villages in the district suffered from severe flooding, which brought transportation in the area to a standstill. The mountainous region of the district has severely affected the rescue and relief mission in this region. The Thai health minister has said that the 12 Thai boys and their coach who were rescued from a flooded cave will be discharged from hospital on Thursday. The last member of the Wild Boars football team was brought out of the Tham Luang cave on July 10th. The footballers and their coach were admitted to the hospital immediately after their rescue. For most New Yorkers, pigeons are just rats with wings. But for artist Tina Trachtenberg, also known as mother pigeon, the birds are misunderstood animals that have a lot to offer. Artist Tina wears papier-mâché hats, walked all over the city to spread awareness on all the positive aspects of pigeons. The artist has also stressed on the fact that the pigeons eat up the city's garbage. American boxer Floyd Mayweather has been named the world's highest paid entertainer on the Forbes list of world's highest paid entertainers. Actor George Clooney has claimed the 2nd spot with the highest annual pay of his career. Reality star Kylie Jenner, 20, came in 3rd thanks to her booming cosmetics line that put her on track to become the youngest self-made billionaire in the United States. The prolific Mexican romantic composer Armando Manzanero has performed his first concert in Cuba, featuring songs from his catalogue of more than 500 pieces. The open-air concert was performed along Cuba's famous Malachian thoroughfare. The singer-songwriter is Latin America's most well-known composers. Also performing with Manzanero were Cuban legends Omar Portuondo and Iliades Ochoa. Hundreds of members of the LGBT community marched in the central Indian city of Bhopal to demand equal rights and acceptance in the society. Participants said that the march was held call for the abolishment of a colonial-era law banning homosexuality in India. The country's top court is currently reviewing the Section 377, which criminalizes homosexuality. Several people, including 15 girls, were left injured when a tent collapsed at Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's rally in Midnapur in the eastern state of West Bengal. The tent was erected next to the main entrance of the rally venue to shelter people from the rain. The Prime Minister immediately instructed protection personnel to look after the people and attend to the injured. Nearly 400 students crossed the river Tawi to attend school in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur district. The rains have washed away the only bridge connecting the village to the town in the district, and students have to wade through waist-deep water, carrying their shoes in one hand and holding a rope with another while carrying their school bags on the shoulder. Heavy rains have lashed the Indian capital, New Delhi, and are wreaking havoc and causing severe waterlogging. Meanwhile, the heavy showers in India's southern port city of Kochi and waterlogging has troubled local residents in various localities. Authorities have set up several camps to temporarily rehabilitate the people and were providing them with food and essential items. The local residents of India's northern hill town of Dehradun are enjoying a festival held especially for mangoes. The beginning of the two-day festival saw hundreds of mango lovers gather to relish the taste of over 300 varieties of the fruit, both indigenous and foreign. Farmers from various parts of northern India were also invited to participate. The event was being conducted for the first time with an aim to encourage farmers as well as to educate them about newer species of this fruit. And let's bring you the latest from the world of sport. The World Cup winning French football team returned home to a grand reception on Monday as they paraded with the trophy at Champs-Élysées Avenue in Paris on Monday. Les Bleus were crowned world champions for the second time in history after they beat Croatia 4-2 in the final of the 2018 FIFA World Cup at Moscow on Sunday. And soon after the parade, French President Emmanuel Macron's office revealed that the players will be awarded the Legion of Honor, the highest accolade for services to the nation. The French national football team returned home to a hero's welcome after winning the World Cup for the second time. French President Emmanuel Macron has welcomed France's victorious soccer team to the Élysée Palace for a reception in their honour. Moments after a parade down the Champs-Élysées, Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron joined them for a garden party which began with a chorus of soccer anthems on the steps of the palace. Over in Zagreb, Croatia, national team returned home to rapturous celebrations following their runners-up finish at the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. Croatia posted their best ever finish at the FIFA World Cup as they went down 4-2 to France in the final on Sunday. With the 2018 Football World Cup coming to an end, Russia handed over closing duties to Qatar. Russian President Vladimir Putin handed over the mantle of World Cup host to the Emir of Qatar, whose country will host the next edition of the tournament in the year 2022. Heavy rains have damaged one of Russia's newly built World Cup stadiums after the end of the tournament. A fresh landslide on an embankment near the stadium has made a several-meter deep hole in it and covered a sidewalk with mud. 8 teams played World Cup group matches in Volgograd, including England and Japan, who made it to the knockout stages. In news from club football, Cristiano Ronaldo completed his move to Juventus after undergoing medical in Turin. The Portuguese skipper made the switch from Real Madrid to the Turin Giants in a move worth €100 million. During his 9-year stint with the Spanish Giants, Ronaldo etched his name in the club folklore by becoming the all-time leading goal scorer and also won 4 Champions League titles. A Moscow court has sentenced a 15-day jail to one of 4 people who interrupted Sunday's World Cup final between France and Croatia. Veronika Nikulshina had run onto the pitch wearing fake police uniforms. The judge has also banned Veronika from attending sports events for 3 years. The court is expected to announce its decision regarding other members of the band later soon. And it's over to entertainment now. Women are at the center of real changes in Hollywood after the #MeToo movement, says veteran Hollywood actress Angela Bassett, who is all about challenging stereotypes with her roles on celluloid. She played a formidable mother in Black Panther and now a no-nonsense CIA boss in Mission Impossible Fallout. Bassett believes a lot has changed in Hollywood post the #MeToo movement. Author J.K. Rowling will come out with a fourth novel in the series about the exploits of a private investigator, Cormoran Strike, on September 18th under her pseudonym Robert Galbraith. Lethal White is billed by publishers as the most epic Robert Galbraith novel, yet a gripping mystery and a page-turning next installment in the ongoing story of Strike and his assistant Robin Ellicott.